But first this afternoon, we have all heard the term puppy mill, and it definitely has a negative connotation. But what's the real story behind puppy mills? That's the topic for today's Find a Friend segment, sponsored by our friend Rascal Animal Hospital. Joining me now is veterinarian Dr. Michelle Gonzalez with Rascal Animal Hospital, along with Jeanette Mullins. She is from the rescue group Love for Canines, who brought our little canine today. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And Jeanette, let's start with our guest today, Miss Inez, who is sitting on Dr. Gonzalez's lap.
Miss Inez, you must first notice her tongue hanging out. The reason for the tongue hanging out is when she came to us from a puppy mill, an Amish auction actually, her mouth was very infected and we had to have all of the teeth removed.
Wow.
That, it left her with some nerve damage that has now left the tongue out. So when people first meet Inez, they're a little taken back.
It's like, what is that and why?
What is that and
pup.
why?
And your rescue group, you're outside near Dayton.
Yes.
But you still work with the folks at Rascal Animal Hospital, which is wonderful. Yes. What is it about your organization that's a little different when it comes to rescuing pups?
One of the things I believe that's different is the fact that all of our dogs are kept in homes. We don't have a facility, we don't have a building, so all of the dogs are placed in homes where they get, good socialization there with other dogs, other animals.
They're fostered in a way.
They're fostered. It's a very large fostering organization.
Well, can you tell me a little bit more about Inez? How old, and is she good with children and other pets maybe?
Inez is wonderful. Inez is perfect with everyone. She's an older dog, so she's a senior. And Dr. G will tell you a little bit more about her history, but we did pull her from an Amish auction. She was born in 2003. When we got her, she was pregnant. She delivered 2 weeks after we brought her into our facility. She had 3 dogs, 3 little puppies, and they were mixed, we believe, with a Chinese Chin, which could be an auction place trying to create a new puppy breed.
And this is all so
designer.
strange to people, Dr. Gonzalez, but it's really what puppy mills are kind of about, aren't they?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like factory. They're just breeding and breeding and breeding just animals just so that they can make easy money. And unfortunately, the dogs are the ones that suffer because of the condition in which they are kept. This little girl, she's about 10 years old now. From the time that she was born until the time that she was rescued and actually sold at this puppy auction, she was living in a small cage with no care, both no health care and no emotional care. Nobody petting her and giving her love and affection. So that's why she's a little bit timid and has a little bit of a hard time trusting people, but she's definitely a sweet girl that needs all the attention.
And people
in the
know
world.
these puppy mill folks that are running these operations, they're going to get some money if they have a designer dog, and that's what they're trying supposedly to do.
Exactly. That nobody wants just the stray poodles or the Bichons or anything. Everybody's looking for the Yorkie poos and the Morkies and all of that stuff, which in reality they're just mutts. They're just taking 2 purebreds and mixing them together to get a new cross.
How do people know if they do want a dog that is actually a breed and not a mix, that they're getting it from a reputable breeder, Dr. Gonzalez?
A reputable breeder will have a veterinarian that works closely with them. They will have both parents evaluated, both blood work, large breed dogs that are predisposed to arthritis. They will have them radiographs to make sure that they don't have any early signs. They will have their eyes checked, different things evaluated prior to breeding, making sure that the line is clean so that you're breeding good specimens to each other. And then the puppies are cared for by a veterinarian as well. You want to avoid people that administer their own vaccines, that do their own vet care. I mean, there are some breeders that go as far as docking tails on their own. That's certainly not something that should be done by a layperson, something that should be done by a veterinarian.
Some breeders are legitimate. You just have to look at them.
Absolutely, yeah. You just want to make sure that it's somebody that is doing it for the right reasons, to promote the breed, the better standards of the breed, not just to make a quick buck.
You said if you find an ad on Craigslist, you should be suspect, and that's probably one of those things to know.
Right, absolutely. There's a lot of people that use Craigslist just to, and some people will say that they're adopting a dog out, when in reality it's a dog that they've had, that they've bred, they no longer want him, and they just want to make a buck out of that dog. Similar to this poor girl, they exploited her, breeding her to have puppies, and then they just sold her for $50 in an auction, so that they could still make some money off her.
Well, we are hopefully going to find Inez a good home. We've had your website up there, Jeanette, where folks need to get a hold of you, and if not Inez, some of the others that you've rescued.
Excellent.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to make sure that if you want more information on today's Find a Friend Animal, as well as the Rascal Animal Hospital, just go to our website, NBC4i.com, and click on the daytime icon.